Hello, sixth graders. Today your lesson asks you to interpret histogram, which means that you have to read the histogram. So let's try a few together. Remember, a histogram and a bar graph are similar. The only difference is that the bars on histograms are touching each other, whereas the bar graph, they do not. A bird watcher counts and records the number of birds at a bird feeder every morning at 9 for several days. How often did the bird watcher see 5 to 8 birds at the bird feeder? So this is the question that you are trying to answer. So let's underline your question. Let's underline the question. Now let's go and take a look at the graph. Anytime that you have a graph that is a bar graph, histograms, or dot plots, I recommend you go in and write the numbers above the bars so it's easier for you to read later on. Of these numbers down here represents the number of birds. Of these numbers over here represents the frequencies or how often that occurred. So from 1 to 4 birds, the bird watcher counted or saw it 8 times. So let's write 8. For 5 to 8 birds, it is 4 times. So the bird watcher saw 5 to 8 birds at the feeder at one time, 4 times, 4 different times. 9 to 12 birds is 2. 13 to 16 birds is 1. Let's go back to the question. How often did the bird watcher see 5 to 8 birds at the bird feeder? So you're looking for the birds and you're looking for 5 to 8 birds. So it's right here. This bar is 4 high. So to answer that question, how often did the bird watcher see 5 to 8 birds at the feeder? It is 4 times. He saw 5 to 8 birds at the feeder 4 times. Here's the next one. The histogram shows the number of hours that the students in one sixth grade class spend on homework in a week. How many students spent less than 9 hours on homework? So let's go and underline your question. The question asks, how many students spend less than 9 hours on homework? Once again, when you have a histogram, you are going to go in and write the numbers on the bars. So 1 to 4 hours is 2, which means that 2 students spent 1 to 4 hours on homework. 5 to 8 hours is 6. That means 6 students spent 5 to 8 hours on homework. 9 to 12 hours is 8. That means 8 students spent 9 to 12 hours on homework. 13 to 16 hours is 4. That means 4 students spent 13 to 16 hours on homework. Let's go back to the question. How many students spent less than 9 hours? Here's your keyword. You're looking for less than 9 hours. Less than 9 hours. So I'm looking at 1 to 4 hours because 1 to 4 is less than 9. I'm also looking at 5 to 8 hours because 5 to 8 hours is less than 9. I'm not looking at 9 to 12 hours because 9 equals to 9 and is not less than 9. So therefore, I'm not looking for 13 to 16 hours because 13 to 16 hours is not less than 9. So all I'm looking at is the first two bars. So I need to add these two together, put them together. 2 plus 6 is 8. So that means there were 8 students that spent less than 9 hours on their homework. Here's the last practice one that we're doing together. How many students are there in the age group of 0 to 20? Here is a histogram. So let's go in and label the numbers. From 1 to 10, the age range from 1 to 10, the age range is 15. So let's label this 15. From the age 11 to 20 is 25. From the age of 21 to 30 is 35. From the age of 31 to 40 is 25. Let's go back and look at the question again. How many people are there in the age group of 0 to 20? So I'm looking for the age group of 0 to 20. So 1 to 10 count, 11 to 20 count, 21 to 30 does not, 31 to 40 does not. So I need to add these two together, the two that count. So 15 plus 25, that gives me 40. So 40 people are in the age group of 0 to 20. Now, use that information to help you to answer your question on the Wednesday portion of your work.